Welcome back to Transfer to Alps. I'm Liam.
And I'm Chloe. So, we've covered the history of Méribel, we've successfully navigated the airports, dodged the rental car trap, and arrived in the valley.
Hopefully in a pre-booked transfer, looking relaxed. But now the driver has opened the door, handed you your bags, and driven off. You are standing in the snow. You need a bed.
And in Méribel, finding a bed isn't just a matter of checking a booking website. It is an entire culture.
It really is. If we look at the accommodation landscape in the three valleys, there is a very clear divide. If you go to Courchevel 1850, it is the land of the Palace Hotel. Huge, sprawling luxury hotels with doormen in top hats.
But Méribel went a different way. Because of Peter Lindsay's strict architectural rules that we talked about in episode 1, no high-rises, only wood and stone, Méribel became the undisputed king of the chalet culture.
Exactly. The catered chalet is the beating heart of this resort. However, that doesn't mean the classic high-end hotel service doesn't exist here. It just looks different. It's more integrated into the landscape.
It is discreet luxury. And if we are going to talk about the absolute benchmark of that luxury, the aristocracy of Méribel hotels, if you like, we have to start with Hotel Le Kaïla.
Right in the centre of the village.
Slap bang in the middle. Le Kaïla was actually the very first 5-star hotel in Méribel, and it holds on to that crown very tightly. Walking in there, it feels like stepping into a very exclusive, very warm private club.
It's the quintessential old money aesthetic. Heavy timbers, deep plush fabrics, roaring fires. But it's not just about the look, is it? It's the facilities.
Oh, absolutely. If you are staying at Le Kaïla, you are probably spending half your time in the Nook Spa. It is massive. It has an indoor pool with massive bay windows looking out over the snow. And for the foodies, it is home to Le Tremplin,
The Michelin star.
the only Michelin-starred restaurant in Méribel Centre. Laurent Azoulay's menu there it is an event. You don't just eat dinner, you experience it. And the best part? The hotel has a private elevator that takes you directly down to the ski shop and the slopes. You literally step out of the lift and onto the snow.
It is flawless execution. But Le Kaïla represents the traditional Alpine luxury. If we look up the mountain to the Belvedere area, there is a hotel that has completely disrupted that traditional model.
You are talking about Le Coucou.
Le Coucou, also 5 stars, but a completely different universe.
It really is. If Le Kaïla is a classic tailored suit, Le Coucou is haute couture. It was designed by Pierre Jovanovic, and he essentially threw the Alpine rulebook out the window.
There is no red and green tartan. There are no stuffed stag heads on the walls.
No! It's all pastel pinks, deep terracotta, curved lines and modern art. It feels almost Wes Anderson-esque. It is incredibly chic, incredibly modern and perfectly positioned. Because it's in Belvedere, it clings to the side of the piste. The ski-in, ski-out access is probably the best of any hotel in the valley.
So, you have the traditional heavyweight in the centre and the modern disruptor on the slopes. But there is a third option for the 5-star, or let's say premium 4-star client. The ones who don't want to be seen at all.
The quiet luxury crowd.
Precisely. And for them, there is Le Grand Coeur and Spa.
Ah, Le Grand Coeur. It has this incredibly loyal following, doesn't it? People book the same room for the same week every single year.
It is a relais and chateau property, which tells you everything you need to know about the food and the wine cellar. It is tucked away just above the centre. It doesn't shout, it whispers. If you want absolute privacy, exceptional gastronomy, and a staff that remembers how you take your coffee from 3 years ago, that is where you go.
Okay, so we've covered the premium hotels. But Liam, we said Méribel is the capital of chalet culture. We need to talk about the chalets. And I don't mean a cozy little cabin for four. I mean the absolute ceiling of the real estate market.
Right, let's talk about the mega chalets. Because if you have the budget, Méribel offers private properties that rival small hotels. Let's take Le Grand Cerf as an example.
Just saying the name sounds expensive.
It is. It's located in the Domaine des Brames. For those who don't know, Domaine des Brames is essentially a private gated enclave hidden in the trees just off the main de Rome piste. It is where the elite hide out.
And Le Grand Cerf is, well, it's not a chalet. It's an estate.
It is 600 square meters of living space. It sleeps 15 people.
And to rent it for a week in February, you only have to sell one, maybe two of your kidneys.
It is strictly price on application, but you get what you pay for. You aren't just renting a house, you are renting a staff. A private chef, a chauffeur, a chalet manager. It has its own cinema room, a wellness centre. You could spend a week there and never actually go skiing.
Which some people do. But it shows the scale of what is possible in Méribel. However, Liam, there is a new trend emerging, isn't there? Something sitting right between the mega chalet and the five-star hotel.
The aparthotel shift. Yes, we are seeing a move towards ultra-luxury apartments, and the prime example of this right now is Antarès Méribel.
Back up in the Belvedere area.
Exactly. Antarès is fascinating. It's a collection of massive, privately owned duplexes and apartments. You get the square footage of a chalet. You have your own huge living room, your own designer kitchen, absolute privacy.
But
it is attached to a resort infrastructure. So you have a 25-meter indoor pool, a world-class spa, and a concierge. If you want to cook for your family, you can. If you can't be bothered, you pick up the phone and a private chef comes up to your apartment to cook for you.
it's the ultimate hybrid. It's for the family who wants the space of a mega chalet, but the facilities of Le Kaïla or Le Coucou.
It is a paradigm shift in how people stay in the Alps. But as much as we love talking about private chefs and Michelin stars, this is the absolute top 1% of the market.
We need to come back down to earth.
We do. We need to look at the heartbeat of the resort. Where do normal professionals, families, and groups of friends actually stay?
Well, they stay in the strategic mid-range. They stay in the robust 4-star market. Because let's be honest, you can still have a spectacular, luxurious holiday without taking out a second mortgage.
Exactly. And in Méribel, the 4-star market is arguably the most competitive. These hotels have to work hard for your money. They sit right in the heartbeat of the village, and they offer brilliant value.
And if we are talking about the heartbeat, we have to start with Hotel La Chaudanne. It is literally named after the main lift hub. I absolutely love this place.
It's actually the sister property to Le Kaïla, isn't it?
It is. They share the same owners. If Le Kaïla is the sophisticated, quiet older sibling, La Chaudanne is the fun, energetic younger sibling. It has this incredible Alpine chic vibe. It's a bit more relaxed, but still highly premium. But the real reason I love it is the bar.
Ah, Le 80.
Yes, Le 80. It's named after Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days. The decor is all dark wood, leather armchairs, vintage hot air balloons hanging from the ceiling. It feels like a Victorian explorers club.
With significantly better cocktails.
Much better cocktails. They have live music, great tapas, and the atmosphere in the early evening is just electric. You don't even need to leave the hotel to get the best of Méribel's nightlife. It comes to you.
It's a great choice for atmosphere, but Chloe, you know me. I am a pragmatist. I look at a ski holiday through the lens of logistics.
Here we go. The spreadsheet brain is activated.
Listen, it's important. The biggest pain point of any ski holiday, especially if you have children, is the walk from the hotel to the ski lift.
The ski boot walk of shame.
Precisely. You are sweating in your base layers, carrying your own skis, plus your 6-year-old skis, clumping awkwardly across an icy road. It is a nightmare. It ruins mornings. And that is why Hotel Le Tremplin is an absolute masterpiece of positioning.
It is right on the snow, isn't it?
Tremplin translates to springboard, and it is literally a springboard onto the mountain. It is situated directly at the Chaudanne lift base. We are talking 0 meters of walking. You walk out of the boot room, you drop your skis on the snow, you click in, and you are in the queue for the Solaire Express.
Okay, that is a serious game changer for parents.
It removes all the morning friction. It's a classic, very comfortable 4-star hotel. It has a great outdoor heated pool. But you are paying for the geography. If you hate carrying skis, book Le Tremplin.
But what if you don't want to be right down at the lift hub? What if you want to be on the main street close to the shops, but you still want something stylish?
Then you look at Hotel Le Savoy.
Yes, Le Savoy is brilliant. Because from the outside, it respects the rules. It's a classic Savoyard chalet building. But the moment you walk through the doors, it's a complete contrast.
It's very sharp, isn't it? Very boutique.
Extremely boutique. The interiors are modern, minimalist, with lots of clean lines and rich fabrics. It feels very metropolitan. Plus, it has a renowned restaurant and a fantastic little bar. It's perfect for couples who want to be in the centre of the village, popping out to the boutiques, without feeling like they are staying in a rustic hunting lodge.
So, that's the centre sorted. La Chaudanne for the vibe, Le Tremplin for the logistics, Le Savoy for the modern aesthetic. But, as we discussed in our last episode, Méribel is a ladder.
And we need to climb up to the next rung.
Exactly. We need to go up to 1,750 meters. We need to talk about Méribel Motteret.
Motteret is interesting. We mentioned before that it was built in the 70s. It's purpose-built for skiing. And architecturally, well, let's be polite and say it's a bit more functional than the lower village.
It has a reputation for being slightly brutalist. Lots of large, wood-clad apartment blocks designed to pack as many skiers onto the mountain as possible. But hidden among those blocks is an absolute gem. A hotel that offers a complete escape from that functional aesthetic.
You are talking about the Hotel Alpine Ruitor.
I am. It sits right at the heart of the Motteret snowfront.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It is a family-run property, and it has this incredibly strong Austrian influence. The moment you step through the doors, you leave the cold, modern 1970s architecture behind, and you are enveloped in this warm, wood-panelled hug.
And the smell! They did this incredible afternoon tea.
The crepes and the pastries. It's famous across the valley. You ski right to the terrace, unclip your skis, and immediately someone is handing you a hot chocolate or a slice of homemade cake. It is the perfect antidote to the high-altitude cold.
And because it's in Motteret, the ski-in, ski-out is flawless. You're at the junction of the lifts that take you to Courchevel or Val Thorens. But there is one other heavyweight in Motteret we have to mention for the serious, high-mileage skiers.
Hotel Le Mont Valon.
Named after the highest and arguably best peak in the Méribel Valley, Le Mont Valon is a grand, reliable 4-star hotel. It is imposing. It sits slightly higher up, looking down over the Motteret Bowl.
It's very traditional, isn't it? Lots of exposed beams, large fireplaces, brass fittings. It feels very established.
It does. But the reason it makes this list is the recovery factor. If you are staying in Motteret, you are probably there to ski hard. You are doing 50, 60 kilometers a day across the 3 valleys. Your legs are screaming by 4 p.m.
I know that feeling all too well.
We all do. And when you finish a day like that, you don't want a tiny boutique spa. You want a massive indoor pool. And Le Mont Valon has one of the best. You just drop into the water, look out the giant windows at the piste you just skied down, and let the hydrotherapy do its work.
It sounds heavenly. So, Monterey really does have its own distinct pockets of luxury.
It does, but so far we have only talked about the obvious choices, the big hotels sitting in plain sight.
You want to go off-piste.
I do. I want to talk about the places you won't find unless you know exactly where to look. The heritage sites and the hidden chalets.
I love a good secret. And if we are talking about heritage, there is one place that instantly springs to mind. It is probably the most iconic, atmospheric place to stay in the entire valley.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
I am talking about Ladré-Tellebar.
A proper Méribel institution.
It really is. It's not just a hotel, it's a piece of Alpine history. It was built back in the 1940s, right at the beginning of the resort's life, and it has been run by the same family ever since. But the real magic of Ladré-Tellebar is the arrival.
Because you can't drive there.
Exactly. You cannot get a taxi to the front door. It is situated right on the door and piste, surrounded by pine trees. So, if you arrive during the day, you either ski down to it, or you walk a snowy path through the forest. But if you arrive at night...
This is the best part.
It's an absolute adventure. You park your car down at the bottom of the piste, or your transfer drops you off. You make a phone call, and 5 minutes later, a member of staff comes flying down the mountain on a snowmobile. A skidoo! They load your suitcases onto the back, you jump on, and they drive you up the empty ski slope under the stars to the hotel.
It's very James Bond.
It sets the tone immediately. You feel completely disconnected from the real world. Inside, it's all creaky wooden floorboards, massive stone fireplaces, and vintage ski memorabilia. It's authentic. And we have to mention the food. If you stay there, you are legally required to eat their famous veal escalope with mushroom sauce. It is legendary.
It is a fantastic choice for the romantics. But let's shift slightly, because there are hidden gems that don't require a snowmobile, but are just as secretive. Let's talk about Méribel Village.
Ah, the quiet sibling, 1,400 meters up.
Exactly, and tucked away in this tiny little hamlet is a place called Chalet Étoile.
Chalet Étoile? I don't actually know that one.
Because it is incredibly well hidden. It is tucked down a tiny, quiet street directly behind the village bakery.
Oh, the boulangerie in Méribel Village is incredible.
It is, and if you stay in Chalet Étoile, you literally wake up to the smell of fresh croissants baking in the morning. It wafts right over the balcony. It is the quintessential, traditional British chalet experience. It's not massive, it's not flashy, but it is deeply comfortable.
And strategically, how does it work for the skiing?
It's brilliant. Because it's in the village, you're about a 50-meter flat walk to the golf chairlift. No queues, no chaos. You just hop on the chair and it drops you straight into the Altaport sector. Chalet Étoile is for the family who wants the classic mountain holiday. Peace, quiet, and good pastry, without dealing with the loud après-ski of the centre.
You mentioned it's a classic British chalet experience. We throw that term around a lot, catered chalet. But for someone who has only ever stayed in hotels or self-catered apartments, how does that actually work?
That's a great question, because a catered chalet is a very specific type of holiday, and Méribel does it better than anywhere else in the world. To explain it, let's use a gold standard example. Let's look at Chalet Le Tremplin.
Okay, setting the bar high. That is a stunning property.
It's on the outskirts of Méribel Centre. Now, a catered chalet means you rent the entire property for your group, say 10 or 12 of you. But you don't just get the keys, you get a staff, usually a professional chef and a chalet host.
So you don't lift a finger?
Not a single finger. You wake up, breakfast is laid out, you go skiing, you come back at 4 p.m, and a freshly baked cake and afternoon tea are waiting by the fire. You jump in the shower and then you sit down to a 4 or 5 course gourmet dinner with paired wines. It's like having a private restaurant in your living room.
it ruins you for normal life.
It completely ruins you. But Chalet Les Bartavelles takes it a step further. It has a private cinema room. It has an outdoor hot tub overlooking the valley. But its absolute killer feature, and this is very rare for standalone chalets, is that it is genuinely ski in, ski out.
Because usually chalets are built on access roads, not on the piste itself.
Precisely. Usually, you have to walk a bit, or the chalet provides a private minibus driver to take you to the lifts. But at Les Bartavelles, you literally ski off the terrace. It is the pinnacle of the private chalet standard.
But Liam, traditional wood and stone is lovely, but the market is changing, isn't it? As we move through the 2026 season, people want different things. They want tech. They want sustainability.
They do. We are seeing a new wave of chalet architecture. The rules say the outside must look traditional, wood and slate, but inside, developers are going wild. And the perfect example of this new wave is Chalet H.
Chalet H. Where is that?
It's located right on the edge of the green Forêt slope, just above Les Alleux. It was built very recently, and it is a fascinating blend of old and new. From the outside, it looks like a beautiful, classic Savoyard barn, but underneath...
It's basically a spaceship?
Basically, yes. It is packed with eco-technologies, smart climate control, heavily insulated, and crucially for modern travellers, it has multiple EV charging stations for electric vehicles.
Which is a massive selling point now. Try finding a plug socket for a Tesla in a 1970s apartment block. It's impossible.
Exactly. Chalet H caters to the modern, eco-conscious premium client. But it's not all serious tech. They've had some fun with it too. It has a beautiful wellness area, and it actually has a full-size casino table in the games room.
A casino table. Brilliant. So you can lose your ski money without even leaving the house.
It just shows how the format is evolving. You can have the traditional Peter Lindsay aesthetic on the outside, but inside you have a private casino, an electric charging hub, and ski-in, ski-out access. It's the best of both worlds.
Okay, so we've covered Michelin star hotels, hidden historic gems with snowmobiles, and futuristic mega chalets. I feel like we've spent a lot of hypothetical money so far.
We have. We've painted a very expensive picture.
And we need to fix that. Because I don't want people listening to this and thinking, well, Méribel is only for millionaires. I'll book somewhere else.
Agreed, because that is a myth. Méribel is incredibly accessible if you know the hacks, if you know which neighbourhoods to target, and if you are willing to look at the budget and self-catering options.
Okay, so let's talk strategy. Because I have friends in their 20s and 30s who look at the Three Valleys trail map, they drool over the 600 kilometers of pistes, and then they look at the accommodation prices and just give up.
Which is a tragedy, because you do not need a lottery win to ski Méribel. You just need to be smart about where you place your pin on the map. Let's start with the younger crowd. The groups who want to ski hard, but also want to experience the legendary Méribel nightlife.
They want the après-ski, but they don't want a 5-star spa. They just want a fun, clean place to crash.
Exactly. And for that demographic, the absolute best strategic pick is a 3-star right in the centre called Hotel Grand Jet.
Oh, I know Hotel Grand Jet. It is incredibly popular.
It is always fully booked, and for one very specific reason: location. It is situated on the ground floor of the Chaudanne lift area, but more importantly, it is physically attached to Jack's Bar.
Jack's Bar is an absolute institution. The live music there at 5 p.m. is unbelievable. It is packed to the rafters.
It is the epicenter of the British après scene, and if you stay at Hotel Grand Jet, your commute from the bar to your bedroom is approximately 30 seconds. You can literally roll out of the pub, walk through a door, and fall into bed.
It is the ultimate party hack. You save a fortune on late-night resort taxis, you are right on the snow for the morning, And the room rates are entirely reasonable because it is a solid, no-frills 3-star.
Exactly. But what if you want a budget option and you don't want the thumping bass of a live band under your floorboards? What if you are a purist who wants peace and quiet?
Then you have to move away from the centre, surely.
You do. You have to go down the valley to the original village, Les Alous, down at 1,100 meters. And there you will find a place called La Croix Jean-Claude.
La Croix Jean-Claude. That sounds very traditional.
Chloe, it is as traditional as it gets. It is an historic inn that actually opened its doors in 1932.
1932? That's before Peter Lindsay even arrived to build the main resort.
Precisely. It predates the ski lifts. It was an old Savoyard coaching inn. It is a genuine, unpretentious 3-star hotel right on the village square. It is dripping with historic charm. The restaurant serves proper, hearty local food. And because you are staying down in the valley floor, the prices drop dramatically.
But the compromise is the commute, right? You aren't ski in, ski out.
You aren't. You have a short walk to the Olympe gondola, and then you have a beautiful 15-minute scenic ride up to the Chaudanne. For a lot of people, that daily commute is a small price to pay to save hundreds of pounds on their holiday.
It's a great trade-off. But Liam, I know you have an even more extreme budget hack up your sleeve.
I do. The ultimate hack. The secret that the French have known for decades, but the British are only just waking up to. I am talking about the UCPA.
The UCPA Méribel. Okay, you have to explain this concept because it blows people's minds when they hear about it.
UCPA is a French non-profit organisation focused on making outdoor sports accessible to young people. Basically, it's a giant purpose-built sports hostel right in the middle of Méribel Centre.
But it's not just a bed, is it?
No, it is a fully all-inclusive package. When you book a week at the UCPA, the price includes your accommodation, 3 massive buffet meals a day, your ski or snowboard equipment hire, your full 3 Valleys lift pass, and professional instruction.
Wait, even the lift pass and the skis are included?
Everything. You just turn up. And the price is astonishingly low. It completely shatters the myth that Méribel is only for millionaires.
Okay, what is the catch? There has to be a catch.
The catch is the living arrangement. It is a hostel. You are sleeping in dormitories, usually 4 to a room, on bunk beds. The bathrooms are shared down the hall. You have to clear your own tray in the dining room, and you have to vacuum your room before you leave.
Okay, so no one is leaving a chocolate on your pillow.
Definitely not. But if you are a student or a solo traveller, or just someone who cares absolutely zero about thread counts and only cares about skiing the best snow in Europe, the UCPA is the greatest deal in the Alps.
I love that. It democratizes the mountain. But let's say I'm traveling with my family. I am not putting my kids in a bunk bed down the hall from a group of Swedish snowboarders.
Fair enough. The UCPA is generally for adults anyway. So for families on a budget, we look at the self-catering spectrum. The apartment market.
Because cooking your own spaghetti bolognese is significantly cheaper than eating out in a resort restaurant every night.
Exactly. And Pierre and Vacances essentially run the apartment game in France. But they offer very different tiers. Let's start with the premium end. Pierre and Vacances Premium Le Vanat.
Oh, Le Vanat is beautiful. It's right in the centre, wrapped in pine trees. It's technically a 5-star residence, isn't it?
It is. This is for the soft budget traveller. You get a stunning, beautifully decorated apartment with a high-end kitchen. But the building has a luxury spa, an indoor pool, and an outdoor hot tub. You get the 5-star hotel facilities, but you control your own dining budget.
It's the perfect compromise. But what if you want to strip it back even further? What if you just want a clean room, a stove, and a central location?
Then you book their standard tier, Pierre and Vacances Les Ravines.
Ah, the classic.
It is the baseline for functional self-catering. It's a 3-star residence. No massive spa, no bells and whistles. But it is clean, it is incredibly central, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It is the perfect launch pad for a family who spends all day on the mountain.
But Liam, what about Monterey? Because if you are on a budget, surely staying higher up is more expensive.
Not necessarily. The apartment market in Monterey is huge. And if you want the best ratio of price to snow access, you look at the Odalis residence Le Hameau du Monterey.
That's right at the very top of the resort, isn't it?
It is perched right at the top of the Monterey Bowl. The views are spectacular. You literally step out of the building and ski down to the lifts. It is slightly older. The apartments are quite compact, as they tend to be in French ski resorts, but you are paying for the altitude.
You can make your own breakfast, step out the door, and beat the billionaires staying in the valley to the fresh powder.
And that is the beauty of it. The mountain doesn't care how much you paid for your bed. The snow is the same for everyone.
I love that. The snow is the great equalizer. You can be staying in a bunk bed or a palace, but when you are standing at the top of the Saulier Express, you are all looking at the same view.
Exactly. And I think that is the real takeaway from today. Méribel has this reputation for being an exclusive enclave, but the reality is a massive spectrum.
It really is. We have gone from the absolute zenith of luxury, having a private chef cook for you in the 600 square metre Le Grand Cerf, right down to clearing your own tray in the dining hall of the UCPA hostel.
From the Michelin stars of Le Kaïla to making your own spaghetti in a compact Pierre and Vacances apartment in Monterey, the valley accommodates everyone. But Chloe, there is one universal truth regardless of where you book.
And what is that?
You still have to find the front door.
Oh, don't even joke about that. We have all been there.
It is the classic Alpine mistake. You book a beautiful hidden chalet, maybe Chalet Étoile, tucked away behind the bakery. Or you book the historic Ladre Télébar, where you literally cannot drive to the entrance.
And you arrive in the dark. It is -5 degrees. And you end up dragging a wheeled suitcase through a snowbank, wandering around a freezing resort, staring at a little blue dot on Google Maps on a phone with 3% battery.
It is miserable, and it is entirely avoidable. This is exactly where Alps2Alps steps in and ties the whole logistical puzzle together.
Because it's not just about getting up the mountain. It's about the precision of the drop-off.
Precisely. The drivers know this valley intimately. They know the confusing layout of the Monterey apartment blocks. They know exactly which lay-by to drop you in, so the Ladre Télébar snowmobile can meet you. They deliver you door to door.
Which means your holiday actually starts the second you step out of the van, rather than an hour later when you finally find your reception desk.
It removes the final hurdle. So, book the bed that fits your budget, but let the professionals handle the front door delivery.
Brilliant advice. Now, assuming we have arrived safely and we have unpacked our bags, Liam, I am getting hungry.
Of course you are. And frankly, you cannot talk about the French Alps without talking about the gastronomy.
The cheese, the wine, the perfectly cooked steaks. In our next episode, we are dedicating the entire show to eating and drinking in the Three Valleys.
We are going to tell you exactly where to find the best mountain lunches, which restaurants require a reservation 6 months in advance, and which ones are hidden away from the crowds.
And we have to talk about the après-ski. We are going deep into the legendary madness of La Folie Douce, and we will dissect why the Rond-Point is the greatest pub in the world.
Dancing in ski boots is a serious business. You won't want to miss it. Make sure you hit subscribe on your podcast app so the next episode drops straight into your feed.
And if you are ready to book that door-to-door transfer, head over to the Alps2Alps website.
This has been Transfer to Alps. Thank you for listening, and we will see you on the mountain.
Goodbye!